welcome you all to this session today. I am Eunice. I'll be your moderator for today's session. For those who have not joined us before, this is the second breakfast roundtable we are having. We normally have physical meetings, but because of the times we are living in, we are going virtual. And I think we are learning to live with it, and we thank God for it. I am a banker by profession. I work for KCB Group. I head a sector in the corporate banking sector. I am also a member of Women on Boards, and I sit in the committee for policy and advocacy, and enjoy also supporting the youth program, the junior membership. And I thank you all for this session, for joining this early morning. So today's session, today is the second session of our series, Expand Your Horizon. The previous one we had was Step Beyond Self-Imposed Limits, and that was an exciting one. Today we are having another one, Broaden Your Mindset. So I welcome you all, and I will invite Beatrice to pray for us as we start the session.
Okay, let's humble ourselves and pray. God, Father Almighty, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we come before you this morning, thanking you and being grateful in our hearts for every small thing and every big thing that you have done for us. We thank you for Women on Boards Network. We thank you for the leadership. We thank you for every woman represented here and their families. And as we start this meeting, God, we are grateful that you have been with us from the last time we had the breakfast round table until now, my Father. We have seen your hand in all things, my Father. And now it's our turn to invite you into this meeting. We covet your presence in each and everything that we are going to do, and may it all bring glory to you. We commit our sister, the speaker, into your hands, Father, that her words will come out with clarity. We pray all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Beatrice. I now have the honor to invite Catherine Musakali, our chair, to just give us opening remarks and give us a brief on Women on Boards. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you very, very much, Eunice. Good morning, everyone. Really happy to have you here this morning for this breakfast and to listen to a dear friend and a dear sister share her words of wisdom with us. I'm really excited today. And the reason I'm excited today is because of the achievements that we have had in the recent past. As you were getting in, you saw the recent appointments that we have had, and we are really, really proud of our members who have been appointed to various positions. We wish them well, and we ask them to serve with dedication so that they can always be asked, where you came from? Are there others like you? And then we get to appoint others to boards and to the various positions. Really, really excited about that. Now, as I woke up this morning, I woke up once more to some more exciting news, which is that two of our members, Harriet Chigai and Ann Kiusia, had been shortlisted for the position of Commissioner IEBC. So I want to wish them well and hope that when the interviews come, they will really impress the people who will be interviewing them. So that has really gotten me excited this morning that I had to get it out fast. So apologies for that, but I really had to get it out fast. Thank you for joining us today. Allow me to just say a few words about the Women on Boards Network. The Women on Boards Network was launched, for those of you who are not our members, in 2014. And really our mission is about making sure that corporate boards, not just here in Kenya, but in the region, in Africa, globally, that those corporate boards are more diverse in terms of gender. We do have a number of capacity building programs for our members, just to make sure that we are building that pipeline. And whenever we are asked for to nominate members, we have a good team of people that we can put forward for appointments. We hold each other up, we challenge each other, we have coteries that are acting as accountability forums. So if you are our member and you haven't joined our coterie, please let Hannah, let Mrs. Wanga know, so that they can put you in a coterie. And that way you can really be held accountable for any goals that you set for ourselves. So today, again, I'm really excited because we shall be launching the Women on Boards Network Awards, which we've been talking about for a number of years now. Finally, we are going to launch them. So it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you to this session this morning. I will not take too much time because I really want to listen to Chinyere. And so thank you, Eunice, for that opportunity. And I hand back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine. And thank you for those opening remarks. And I think as Catherine has said, we also like to build a pipeline of the board members to create diversity. So we also have the junior membership, which we are actively involved to ensure that the pipeline flows as to ensure that there's diversity in boards. So thank you so much, Catherine, for your guidance and for your support. You really encourage us and give us a lot of psych to go out there. So allow me to introduce our speaker today. She's a friend of Women on Boards. She's an inspiring speaker, and we love having her to speak to us. And she'll tell you exciting things about her. She's Dr. Chinyere Almona. She is a managing partner of Vantage Leadership Services with an extensive professional network in Africa. Her passion is to help leaders achieve greater holistic success levels through leadership coaching, training, and consulting services. With over 28 years of diversified experience in various roles, she was the head of IFC Africa Corporate Governance Advisory Program. The program provided a variety of corporate governance reforms across 13 countries within sub-Saharan Africa. Before joining IFC, Dr. Almona was a director at PwC Consulting Practice in Nigeria, heading the firm's governance, risk, and compliance practice, which she established. She was a specialist MBA in corporate social responsibility from University of Nottingham, UK. She's a certified leadership coach with a Certified Coaches Federation, Canada. She is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, and honorary fellow of Institute of Directors in Ghana. She holds a doctorate degree in business administration from Business School of Netherlands. Dr. Almona is an active angel investor and a member of the Rising Tide Africa. It's a female angel investor network. She has contributed to corporate governance research of SMEs, board leadership, corporate responsibility, and women on board initiatives. She has a robust Pan-African perspective as an alumna of the British Council's Pan-African Interaction Leadership Program, aimed at building leaders with a heart for Africa. She is a published author, an international speaker, and an IFC certified trainer. Besides this, she has authored many books, and Dr. Chinyere, please speak about your books. And she has a new one, and she'll definitely tell us about her books, and we'll support you to purchase those books. And she's also a great speaker and an engaging speaker. So I welcome you, Dr. Chinyere, and for all of you, please welcome and feel free to write any comments or any questions you have in the chat as she speaks, and then we'll have a Q&A after this session. So welcome, Dr. Chinyere, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Eunice. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction. I'm really pleased to be here. I think I'm a member of Women on Board. Catherine, what do you think? I was here from the beginning, so I'm like a founding member.
You were there from the launch.
Yeah, so I'm really pleased to be with you ladies this morning. It's a great honor. It's a great honor to be asked to come and speak to you on this subject, which I find very interesting. I'm also very excited this morning. I was saying to Catherine before we started that I'm excited today because I was hoping to get my new book. I have a father before Father's Day celebration, which is next Sunday. And I got it yesterday. So I'm like, wow, I've done something great this year. So I'm really pleased to get it. And like she said, I'm an author. I have several books. The latest business book is the Corporate Governance for Small and Medium-Sized Businesses in African Economies. And I'll pop the links to my books in the charts after I speak. But yeah, it's really great to be here. And I want to lend my voice to congratulate all the appointees and electees who I saw the list. It's an amazing list. It's a very impressive list, Catherine. Well done. You know, I was like, wow, all these people, you know, you are going to have to go and create a change. You're going to have to make an impact. You can't be appointed and then you don't make the impact that we expect. We expect women to go out there and shine. So please shine on our behalf, because as you go out there, you're representing the rest of us who are not there. So please fly the flag high and make a great impact in Kenya. This morning, I'm going to talk to you about broadening your mindset. And I understand it's part of a bigger picture of what you've been on about recently. And I'm just going to lend my voice and share a few thoughts and my experience to the subject matter. Before I start, just want to, a quote I saw recently, which I found very interesting, a quote by William James. And he said that if you can change your mind, you can change your life. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. And when I got the topic for this session, which says broaden your mind, I immediately thought to myself, if you can broaden your mind, you can broaden your life. Okay. I hope you all agree with me, because I believe absolutely that if you can broaden your mind, you can broaden your life. So I want us to just spend a second, just close your eyes quickly and think, what would a broadened life look like? For you, what would that look like? I mean, you didn't come on this session just to hear me speak, but you want to do something with your life. So what would that broadened life look like? For some, it may be to get on boards. For some, it may be to command more respect where you are. For some, it may be to engage with more, lead more teams, you know, make greater impact in your project. For some, it may be to be a better mom for your children, or a better spouse, or a better partner for, you know, your business. For some, it will be to grow your business. What would that broadened life look like? What does that mean for you? And I'm happy to have one or two people share their perspective of a broadened life. What would that look like? You can raise your hand. I guess one thing I didn't say is that I expect and demand interaction in my sessions. So what is a broadened life for you? What does that mean? So I invite one or two people to share their thoughts of a broadened life.
Chinyere, I don't want to share mine, but I want to put one of our junior members who I'm so proud of on the spot.
Okay.
One of our junior members I'm so proud of is Wanjiru Wangondu. So I want to put her on the spot for this one.
All right. Go for it, Wanjiru. Can she unmute herself, or she needs to be unmuted?
She can,
I'm
she
sorry,
can unmute.
I didn't
Okay,
catch.
Wanjiru.
Are you talking, is it me that you're addressing?
Yes,
Yes,
Wanjiru.
Oh, okay, I didn't catch the question. Could you re-ask it?
Yes, so I said, close your eye for a second and think, What would a broadened life mean for you? What would that look like for you?
What would a what?
A broadened, a life that is broadened, that is bigger, that's whatever, a better life and next level type life. What would that look like for you?
I think being able to do bigger things or bigger projects with my degree, things that I'll be proud of.
Okay, being able to do bigger things, bigger projects, leverage your education, leverage your degree more, and showcase your skills more. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can I have one more person tell me what their broadened life would look like?
Beatrice has her hand up. Beatrice Matiri.
Beatrice, okay, go for it.
Hi, good morning, everybody. A broadened life for me would be leveraging on relationships, not just within Africa, but globally.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Beatrice.
This means professional relations, but also family relations and, closer home relations.
Beautiful, thank you so much. Immaculate says in the chat, for me, it will be a wider scope of career opportunities. Awesome, thank you. All right, so I wanted to do that so that you can all have something to link this entire session to. It will be almost like water on the back of a duck if I speak and you can't connect it to something, a goal or a desire, if not a firm goal, but a desire of something greater, something more beautiful, something more glorious, something bigger, something wider. You need to be able to connect what we're saying in that context. So now I'm going to share my screen, and for part of the presentation, I'll be sharing my screen, so I will put off my video for a while because I'm also having some power challenges where I am. But don't worry, you hear me, you see the screen, and after the presentation, I will put on my video so we can have a chat. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, ladies, so this is it. Broaden your mindset. Broadening your mindset is something that we all are thinking about, and you have rightly, shared your thoughts about a broadened life and what that means. And if I think of broadening, if you look at this girl here, she's thinking big thoughts, like she's, I can do it, I can do anything. She's in her mind, she's bigger than she looks in her mind, which is great. This is where I want you to get to this morning. But let's start with just thinking through what is a mindset. So if we're thinking of broadening our mindset, what is that? What is the action toward? What are we broadening? I got this quote from the internet. It says that mindset is a set of assumptions, methods, or notions held by one or more people or groups of people. A mental attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's responses to and interpretations of situations. Okay, so if you're thinking, I want to broaden my mindset, you're thinking, I want to broaden my assumptions, my methods, my notions, my attitude, my disposition, the things that will determine my actions and my responses to situations and circumstances in my life. That's what we're thinking of broadening. And this morning, I want to just share with you 7 ways to broaden your mindset as a leader. For anyone who has listened to me ever, if you've ever listened to me or ever read anything I've written, you would know that apart from the fact I like colors, I also like to itemize my thoughts or articulate my thoughts in a structured way to make it more memorable. So I'll either use alphabets or I'll use an acronym just to make whatever I'm discussing to be memorable and help me understand it better. So I'm going to use the word broaden as an acronym for the 7 ways to broaden your mindset as a leader. So take note of these points because this is what we're going to discuss for the rest of the presentation. So 1 is believe big, reframe the situation. Open-mindedness is a virtue. Authenticity is important. deepen your skill sets. Emotional courage is a thing. No excuse is good enough. That is broaden. These are the strategies for me to broaden your mindset. So let's go. The first one is believe big. Believe big. And as I go along, also think, sometimes, we talk about these things and people just zero in on professional world. Think about the other parts of your life, your home, your marriage, your relationships, and of course, work. So don't just think about work. Depending on the number of hats you're wearing, it may be important, therefore, for you to establish in what role you need to broaden your mindset. For some people, they don't need to broaden their mindset at work, but maybe at home. For others, it may be the reverse. So just think through your own particular situation. So when we think about believing big, it's being able to think the larger, not just think. I think for me, I see believing as being a bit deeper than just thinking. So not just think big, but believe big. Really believe that that which you want to achieve is possible. Believe as an individual, let's say you're on a board or in a team, like you're leading a team or you're part of a team, believe that you contribute value in a big way. Sometimes in life, we kind of think that we must convince others that we can contribute value or that we are, able to achieve positive results or derive great impact. But often the only person that truly needs convincing is yourself. That's the truth. Sometimes others look at you and they don't have any doubt that you can do stuff. They may not say it, but it depends on how you then carry yourself. A wise woman said to me recently that you are not who people say you are or what they think that you are. You are actually who you believe you are and how you behave. And what you believe determines how you behave. So if you believe big, you will behave big. You will behave with confidence that you are able to deliver. So it's up to you to believe big, that you can add value, that you can make an impact, that you can change things, that you can create, positive outcomes. There's a quote I read once about David Burns says that the moment you have a certain thought and believe it, you will experience an immediate emotional response because your thoughts actually creates the emotion, which influences your behavior.
Tell me.
So if you're able to believe big, you're able to act it out. Your confidence level will go up. Charles Glassman said, believing in negative thoughts is the single greatest obstruction to success. So believing big is a catalyst for success because believing big dismantles limiting beliefs. I know that I had a last session, you talked about limitations you place on yourself. Believing big dismantles those limiting beliefs and enables you to achieve great things. So to broaden your mind, you have to believe big. The bigger every day, and this is all practice, right? So one day you think a tiny thought, you believe it, you keep expanding it, but you need to keep at it. And over time, you realize that you are actually bolder and more confident than you think you are. I was coaching a lady recently. She's the co-founder of a company and the CEO of that company. And after our session, she said to me, Chinyere, I have grown a few inches taller. Now, physically, she could not have grown taller while we were speaking, but the truth is in her, now she believes bigger than she was believing before we started to speak. So she feels bigger, taller, and now she can go out and do bigger things. So believe big. Okay. Let's take a look at this image. So let's say this is the chairman of the board, and this is the first woman on the board. And the chairman goes, wasn't it about the time you came on board that I turned the company around? Now, ladies, what are your thoughts? Or what will your response be? Can you please use the chat and tell me what will be going through your mind if you are standing behind this man and he's looking at this chart and he's saying that it was about the time I came on board, Chinyere came on board, and then he turn the company around. Seriously? Okay, so please, what do you think and what would be your response? What do you think and what would be your response? Please use the chat box. Eunice says, you must be kidding me. Yeah. Okay. Oh, really? What will be going through your mind? So I believe I have 48 people on the call. So surely I must have some more reactions than just 3 people. My thought would be, I definitely catalyze that growth. Okay. True. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Someone said, why me? Awesome. How lucky for you to have hired me. Another thought, another response, perhaps. Okay, so let's go on. So sometimes you have those thoughts, sometimes you don't respond, but sometimes you do have to respond. But that's the topic for another day. When I saw this caption, first of all, the first thing that went through my mind was like anger. I was annoyed. I was very upset. Like, how can he say that? And then I calmed down and tried to reframe the situation. I'll get back to what I thought after I reframed the situation. So our R stands for reframing the situation. Reframing is, is the idea behind having to think of a different point of view when you look at a particular condition or a particular situation. When your frame is like having a lens on, okay, so if you have a dark shade in the sun, you see things are a bit dark. Now, if, for instance, you change your lens and you have a sunny colored lens, you begin to see everything like sunshine. So the lens that we use to look at things can change the meaning of those things. And sometimes just when the meaning changes and the thinking changes, the behavior follows it, or how we respond will follow it. Reframing is a way of changing the way you look at something and changing your experience. So reframing is your responsibility, not the responsibility of somebody else. And this can turn a stressful, bad, negative situation to actually a positive situation. And it broadens your mind to new possibilities and makes you more resilient. Last weekend, no, I think it was during the week, I had a conversation with a young lady, and she was upset. In fact, she reached out to me because she was really upset. She was upset about a customer who had ordered something, and she sent the customer a sample. The customer had approved the sample. She's gone back to make what the customer ordered. The customer had paid 70% of the cost and was supposed to give her the remaining part of the money after she delivered. After she delivered, the customer then started to throw a tantrum. She was very upset. In fact, she said to me, when she reached out to me, she said, please, I will just send you a voice note because she couldn't type everything. So she sent a long voice note, and then she said to me, I'm so sorry, but I had to give you the background of everything. So it was clear that she was frustrated, she was annoyed, she was so angry. She had closed out that particular customer completely. In fact, she had deleted the lady's number from her phone. And we had a conversation, and in that conversation, I helped her to reframe the situation. One of the things I said to her was, I asked her, how much is the money left? She told me perhaps like $100 left or something like that. And I said to her, do you know that you have spent $100 and you have taken a course, an advanced master class on conflict resolution, personal leadership, and dealing with stakeholders? And suddenly she was looking at the situation differently. And I said to her, you need to find the lady and say thank you to her for giving you such an opportunity to develop yourself. Also, can you imagine with things with life, if you don't deal with it when it is small, it will probably come back to you when it's a bigger situation. So you have dealt with this issue and learned from it at a tiny $100 level. Therefore, when you're dealing with $100,000, you will be prepared because you have dealt with it now. Suddenly she was reframing this entire scenario. We talked about it in detail, and she realized that with this, just this experience, she's able to analyze and reanalyze her processes and determine how to deal with her customers, what documentation she should have in place, what she should put in place to engage customers going forward. And she left that discussion knowing that she could turn that lady from an adversary to an advocate, and she was ready for it. She was charged and ready to go. She was so excited. That's the importance of reframing. Once you pause and reframe the situation, suddenly it's not painful anymore. It's not hurtful anymore. It's now propelling you. It's like fuel in your body, propelling you to greater things. Isn't that awesome? That's one way to broaden your mindset. Now take a sheet of paper with me and write the words now here. Nowhere. Now here. Let's write it. Nowhere. Okay. Hopefully you've written it somewhere on your phone, on your piece of paper somewhere. Now write under it. Please write the words nowhere. 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 You will see that those two phrases I've given you, they contain exactly the same alphabet in exactly the same sequence. The only difference is reframing. Just shift one word, one letter to the other side, and it's a different perspective. So reframing is so critical. Number 3, open-mindedness is a virtue. Being open-minded, it's a way to actively seek evidence that is contrary to your normal belief. So we talk about unconscious bias, right? So we kind of think and make some decisions or reach some conclusions without thinking. But when you have an open mind, when you want to open your mind, you actively seek for alternative evidence, which is different from what you would normally believe. So open your mind to new scenario, new opportunities, new way of thinking. As leaders, I will encourage you to be open-minded rather than closed-minded. And I like this image of umbrellas. Your mind can be likened to an umbrella. An umbrella is only useful when it is open. That's the only time an umbrella is useful, when it is open. Because then you are able to create a sense of connectedness with others because you're broadening. When you open up your mind and you're actively seeking new ways, you're more responsive. You're more responsive to the ideas of others. You're more responsive to the skills around you. You're more responsive to the opportunities around you. Your mind is open to be able to achieve these things. So you're broadening your relationship, but also you're able to invite others to move with you and towards you. In that way, you're broadening your followership. So as a leader, if you're able to open your mind, you can broaden your relationships, you can broaden your followership, and that's what makes you a leader. Being open-minded allows you to be adaptable, to see opportunities, and you're able to not only just see those opportunities around you, but you can take advantage of them because you're kind of open to them, you're responsive to them, you can take advantage of them as you recognize them. Okay, can we launch the poll, Hannah? We're going to just take a quick poll. Okay, ladies, as a leader, I allow others to get to know the real me. Is that 100% of the time for you? 75%, 50, 25? or never. The poll is anonymous, so it's fine. Please vote, vote, vote. Please vote, vote. Should I go on a campaign, electoral campaign? Vote for me, vote for me. Okay, a few more seconds. "29 people have voted. Can we get to 35? So can we have 6 more people voting? And then we can close. Five more people, please. Click the button. Don't sit on the sideline just watching. Participate, be part of this. Two more seconds. 1 second to go. Okay, Hannah, can we have the results? Yes, thank you. So, as a leader, I allow others to get to know the real me. So 5 people, 16% said 100% of the time. Now I can't see the result. What happens to the result, Hannah? It's completely cleared out. Okay, but we had more people right in the middle, and most of the time 75%, and we had a few more people saying 50%. Okay, so this is not, I'm not, it's like not a judgment call. I'm not like judging anyone, so it's fine. It just leads us to our next point. Let's put this off. Let's go to our next point, which is authenticity is important. Authenticity is important. I have found that the leaders who have significant influence on their leader, on their followers, or those around them, those that they lead, they do so from a place of authenticity. And I like the way Lady Breen Brown said that authenticity is a daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are. That's so powerful. Letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Personally, I'm an introvert, and you will not find me in my early days in my career. You will not find me speaking at any setting. Even a small team meeting, I will not speak. Because I was always shy. I didn't think I knew what I was talking about. I felt that everybody knew what they needed to say apart from myself. I remember my boss sometime in early days of my career saying to me, "Chinyere, can you touch your nose?" I touched my nose. He said, "Where's your chin?" I touched my chin. He said, "What is between both?" I said, "My mouth." He said, "Please try and use it. It's not painful." Because I would never say a word, I would never speak. He said, and he just said to me, "I've watched you. When you eventually get to speak, it always makes sense. So why don't you give us the gift of your thoughts and your perspectives?" And that got me thinking, why do I hide behind, whatever and not speak? And some of us are like that. I also remember sometime more recently, maybe in the last 15 years or so, I remember a boss of mine saying to me, there was a new leader in the firm, and he said to me, "Oh, that leader, that guy is, he's set for the skies. He's the kind of person we need in this firm. You should be like him." And I spent a considerable amount of time wanting to be like this guy, wanting to talk like him, wanting to behave like him. And he's a aggressive, bossy, pushy type of person, but that wasn't me. It took me a while to realize that this was really making me quite miserable. Trying to be, aggressive, trying to be bossy, right? That wasn't me. I'm a very empathetic. I'm actually very, very soft and soft-spoken, and I like to relate with people, and so it was far from who I know I am. I got to a point, I said to myself, if I spend all my days trying to be like this guy, who will be like me? I'm the only me on earth. And I have a gift to give to the world. If I spend my time being a phony, being a fake that person, or a fake the other person, or a fake that leader, then my authentic self is buried. I can't use it. I can't exploit. The truth is, with where God has created this universe, whoever He's made you to be, He's laid out some resources for you to achieve that. He's laid out people who will support you to achieve that. And if you're a phony, if you're somebody else, then you're not opening yourself to the resources that God has made available for you to achieve big things, because you're trying to be somebody else. And some of us are ashamed or afraid to show our real self. But your real self is what we need, because your real self is the big deal. So being authentic makes you relatable and trusted, and that gives you a unique platform that is open to only you. I remember somebody saying to me, a distant friend, really, she's in Canada, and she said to me, "Chinyere, you know, she went to a place somewhere, a friend's place, and she said she met, people were having a conversation, and she met this guy who I couldn't even remember the guy, but apparently the guy had worked with me many years ago in PwC. And she met this guy, and they were having a general conversation. And the guy said that one of the best bosses he's ever had was CHINYERE ALMONA. And he was saying this, he didn't know that this, my friend, even knew me. So he was saying about this lady Chinyere, who he worked with, that she's this, she's that, she's that. But he was talking about all my genuine attributes, right? That she's kind, she's very gentle, she knows how to relate with people. Sometimes she gets pushed over because she's not very aggressive, but she's, you know. And my friend came back with that feedback, and I said to myself, can you imagine if she had come back with the feedback that said, oh, there's this boss I had who is cantankerous, who is, you know, aggressive, who is, you know, bitchy and all that. It would have been not me. That's a fake me. But this feedback from somebody I knew like many, many years ago, and in a place that he didn't even expect that anybody would know me, and he was talking about me, and he was talking about the genuine me, that brought to bear the fact that authenticity is important. For you ladies, authenticity is important. According to a report in 2018, US respondents trust businesses that are authentic, and people can smell authenticity from a mile away. So don't think you can hide it. D stands for deepen your skill sets. There is no point broadening your mindset if you have shallow skill sets. You must deepen your skill set to take advantage of a broadened mind. Always better to mind. Remember that always. That as you think, oh, I want to do, you're believing big, but you have to deepen your skill set in order to take advantage of a broadened mind. So deepen your skill set and be intentional. You will never be able to achieve much as you conceive. They say, oh, whatever you think you can achieve. You can't achieve it if you don't deepen your skill set. People who excel always sharpen their skills. They never stop developing, they never stop growing, they never stop learning, they never stop improving. For even the Bible says that the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed. But skill will bring success. That's what Ecclesiastes says. Skill will bring success. So it takes more than desire to excel. It takes skill. So remember, you're not wasting your time when you intentionally deepen your skills. So what lessons, what trainings have you done in recent times? How have you channeled it into what you do? Emotional courage is a thing. Simply put, and I've had, in fact, this the sort of emotional courage, I got wind of it about 2 weeks ago, just attending a conference, and the guy kept talking about emotional courage. And I was thinking, I've never heard of emotional courage. I've heard of emotional intelligence, but not emotional courage. But I kind of, I'm somebody who, once something catches my fancy, I go into it, I research it, and I find out more about it. So I found out a bit more about it. And this guy, Peter Bregman, had written a book, a leadership book on emotional courage. And he said, if you are willing to feel everything, you can do anything. And the basis is that emotional courage means that you are willing to act on your emotion while you are feeling them. Okay, so even if you're afraid of the outcome, you're going to step out in that fear. And that's what courage is, that the fact that I'm afraid doesn't mean that I'm less courageous, but I can step out in that fear. And in my work as a leadership coach with senior level leaders, I have seen that most of the leadership challenges that my clients are facing are actually not professional in nature at all. They are emotional and they're internal. They're the way they are processing their thoughts. They're the ways that they're holding themselves back because of how they feel. So these leaders are struggling with different emotions and they're unwilling. So they're challenged and they're reluctant to act because of how they feel. They don't want to act because they feel that they'll be vulnerable. So I encourage you, I charge you as ladies to feel the emotion, but act. I remember once when, like I said, growing up and in my career, speaking was something that was terrible. I just hated it. And I was invited, I was in South Africa at the time, and I was invited to this Toastmasters club. So I attended, and at that session, they do this thing that suddenly they tell you, okay, so write a speech or something like that, or a story or something. And I said, I just kind of put something together in my mind, and they said, who wants to share their thoughts? I was sweating. I was like, no, not me. But sometimes I knew I was afraid, but I said to myself, Chinyere, what would go wrong if you stand up? So I got up and I spoke. And I won it was like a task or a competition or something. I won, and they gave me a trophy, It was like, wow, like I couldn't believe it. But I felt the fear, I felt the confusion, I felt I was vulnerable, I felt that, but I stepped out and I spoke even in my fear. And I read a recent story. A guy was sharing the story of how he's so used to using his notes to speak. And one day he went to a conference and he had forgotten his notes. And he started to think, should I go back home? Should I cancel my session? He thought about all of this and he was so afraid. But he said that his inner man said to him, just go for it. So he was feeling the fear and vulnerability, but he stepped out. And that was the best speech. That after he finished speaking without his note, he got a standing ovation. So sometimes that thing that you think is holding you back, like, oh no, I'm afraid. Sometimes we are supposed to have a conversation with our team members, a performance review conversation, and we are scared. I mean, that's one of the things that scares me sometimes. Or you're supposed to lay somebody off and you're afraid or you're scared. Please feel the emotion, but please still do what needs to be done. I listened to a TED talk recently, and the lady was sharing, and she was talking about a bit about emotional courage, but it wasn't emotional courage she called it at the time. She was saying something between emotional rigidity and emotional agility. And to her, emotional rigidity is, we all label in our mind, we label emotions as bad or good. Yeah, if I'm happy, it's good. If I'm sad, it's bad. If I'm angry, it's bad. If I'm joyful, it's good. So we label it like that, and therefore we always try to suppress the emotions that we call negative. However, if you're emotionally agile, you're able to stand out when you are upset about something. That's fuel for you to make a change, perhaps. When you are afraid, that's telling that you're about to cross from your comfort zone to the growth zone. And I said to those I coach and those I mentor, that at some point in your life, if you remain in your comfort zone, you never grow. But the moment you step out of your comfort zone into the growth zone, your comfort zone expands, because everywhere you step, after a while, becomes comfortable. So your comfort zone continues to expand. If you don't exercise emotional courage, your comfort zone will be tiny and you will not grow. So to grow, you need to feel the emotion, pay attention to the emotion, but do the work anyway. Finally, on that point, someone said that your emotion is data. It's not a directive. Your emotion doesn't tell you, okay, now go and do. No, emotion tells you what is going on within you and how you're responding to the situation. But you then decide, analyze the emotion and decide how to act. And if you act with courage, then you will make changes. Finally, no excuse is good enough. I like to say you either produce results or you produce excuses, but you can't produce both. Leaders must take responsibility for outcomes. You know, they cannot make excuses and pass the blame to someone or something else. Somebody once said that when you take on a leadership role, you forfeit the right to make excuses. Benjamin Franklin said that I never met a man who was good at making excuses, who was good at anything else. So excuse making is a common symptom of low accountability. Leaders should not make excuses. Of course, sometimes there are reasons why things happen, but if you project your mind that no excuse is good enough, you will be proactive to, curtail certain things from happening. That's the reality, and that way you expand your capability. I read a story by somebody wrote an article, and he mentioned a situation in Apple at the time that Steve Jobs was, once you have a new crop of VPs in Apple, he'll have a session with them. And in those sessions, there's one story that he always tells. And he says, if the bin in his office is not emptied, he'll be angry with the janitor. And he'll call the janitor and he'll ask, why didn't you empty the bin in my office? And the janitor might say, oh, they changed the lock to your office and they didn't give me the key or something like that. And then he says, for the janitor, that's an excuse, but he's a janitor. Between the cadre or the grade of a janitor and the VP role, no excuses are allowed. So he says, in other words, that when employees become the vice president, he or she must vacate all excuses for failure. And Rossman calls that embracing the level of responsibility, owning your dependencies and taking absolute control of every dependency under your purview. You will be more proactive in articulating those dependencies and taking care of them. No excuse is good enough. You must be responsible for every possible thing that could go wrong and be able to deal with it and channel it into success within your team. So ladies, please don't make excuses. Never list reasons or point fingers. Unless you're pointing those fingers at yourself, that's fine, but no excuses. So that's where I'll end, but please remember that if you change nothing, nothing will change. It's up to you to broaden your mind. And I'll hand it back to Eunice for Q&A.
Wow. Dr. Chinyere, I always enjoy listening to you. I like the quotes and very interesting points you've stressed for us there. I think for me, one of the things that I take away that is so great, being authentic is so important as a leader. And if you're not authentic, then you're not leading actually as a true leader. And reframing is so important. I think you've brought out that reframing and open-mindedness, where things may go wrong, but look at that, things that have gone wrong as an opportunity for you to grow and for you to learn and be responsive to that environment. And ladies, no excuses. I think that was the closing remark. Excuses equals to low accountability as a leader. So welcome to questions, and maybe I can start off, Dr. Chinyere, and ask, if you're in an environment where you're being forced not to be yourself as a leader, what do you do? Do you resign? How do you make the change for people to accept you as who you are, especially in an environment where you're being pushed, as you were saying in your example, to be a leader that you're not, to be a harsh leader? Probably you're very empathetic, but that is not what your boss wants you to do. I would like your views on such a situation.
Okay, Thanks, Eunice. That's such a brilliant question because that's so real and that happens a lot of times, particularly when you're not at that level, when you're the decision maker. So if you report to somebody, sometimes they have a kind of a standard that they expect you to fix into. What I would say is that everyone has an opportunity to explore, like we talk about open-minded, to explore other opportunities. Let me explain that. So you're in a place and let's just take my case, and my boss says, you need to be like that person is going to make it, the person is going up the ladder, the person is going to make it. And you look at that person, what you need to decide for yourself, what results is required. Often businesses will require, any business is alive to make money and make profit and have an outcome. So if the business feels that, oh, for us to increase our profit or increase our revenue or engage with our clients, we need people who are aggressive and bossy and can talk, harsh. Okay, so that's the outcome that the company wants. And I am not a harsh person. However, because you're in this company or in this situation or in this team, surely you're here to add value. Surely you know what the goals are. Okay, how can you marry? How can you align who you truly are with the outcome? Okay, all of this, leadership style and all that is in between who we are and the outcome that we want to achieve or the goal. So if you're able to align your person with the outcome. So in my case, back to my case, I realized I wasn't that harsh, aggressive person, but I knew that I could engage with employees in very unique ways. And once I'm able to engage with employees, they get to work better. So my teams were more productive. So that's something that you need to showcase. You can't be in a place and say, oh, I can't act like that person or that person, I am me, but you're not moving the needle, you're not achieving results, you're not making any impact, then that's a no-no. As a lady, as a leader, you must make an impact, you must connect with a goal. So if that organization's goal isn't what you want to meet, then you shouldn't be in that organization. But if that goal is something worthwhile and we're all going to get to that goal, how do you align who you truly are with achieving that goal? How do you achieve that goal? And in any conversation where you find yourself, you make the case. I am this type of person. This is what I like to do. And this is how it achieves the goal that we are going to meet. So always put yourself out there and kind of make the connection. If they can't see the connection, help them make the connection with who you are and your style and the goal that we want to achieve, the outcome. Always think about the goal, always think about the outcome. What is the company set out to achieve? Or you think about the company's values. Which of the company's values are you embodying in your leadership style? So always make that case. Well, in whatever setting, whatever meeting you are, you say, oh, this is, our value is teamwork. And, I like to do this, that, to align with our value of teamwork, to align with this value, to align with that value. Nobody can question that. Once you can connect it with the value or the mission of the organization where you are. But if it's not something that you want to meet, then you really should explore other opportunities outside.
Thank you. We have a question from comments and a question from Caroline Karanja. She says, absolutely brilliant, authenticity, reaffirming, no excuses, excellent lessons. How do we handle less than encouraging environments, Daktari? So she's asking how can we handle less than encouraging environments? Okay, so that question is very broad and really ambiguous because it could be anything. It could be anything. Well, let's try and bring it down to, let's say you are an environment that does not promote your ability to perform, for instance. Yeah. So if you're in an environment of conflict, constant conflict, you're not encouraged to perform, you're not encouraged to work. Or if you're in an environment where people talk down at you, or the kind of culture within that environment does not enable great work, what do you do? Okay, what I like to think is being open-minded requires that you explore and reframe. So you're going to be thinking, what good can come out of this situation? I like to say that a broken clock
you find a broken clock. That clock, no matter how bad that clock is, that clock will be correct twice a day. So if you have a clock that is broken at 12 noon, and that's all it reads, at 12 midnight, it will be correct, at noon, it will be correct. So that a broken clock will be correct twice a day. So there's something positive you can find. So begin to look for the positives. And when you find the positives, use the positives to energize yourself, to make changes. So see yourself as a change maker. If I come into an environment and it is very bad, it is very discouraging, it is, nothing, it doesn't influence positive outcomes, I'm a change maker, right? I won't sit down there and say, oh, now I'm in trouble, nothing is working. No, I want to say, how can I change the ambience of this environment? How can I change the dynamics? How can I change the temperature of the room where I am in? Okay, so one is look for the positives. There will be positives. And two, then decide to make a change. Once you decide to make a change, you're less grumpy about things that are not working because you're focused on making a change. So I'll leave it at those two.
Thank you. Then Wanjiro is asking, her favorite point was the emotional courage. How have you trained yourself to use your emotion as a data and still produce results?
Awesome. And just to say, Wanjiro, that it's work in progress. So I'm still on it. And I figured that I'll be on it for a while. Everybody's on the journey. You never really get to the point where you say, now I'm super, because emotion keeps changing, situations are changing. But how I've used it as data is this internal talk. I learn to talk to myself. And sometimes I'm afraid to do certain things. I get to push myself. I have to push myself. Chinyere, you are afraid. Why are you afraid? Into analyze, why am I afraid about this thing? Let's say I'm going to have a performance conversation with a team member. I ask myself, why am I afraid? Am I afraid that the person will challenge my views? Am I afraid that the person will debunk my ideas or my thoughts? If that is the case, then go armed with substance, evidence, right? So you need your emotion is data, and it will help you say, okay, so what is going on within me? What am I afraid of? If you find yourself annoyed at something, what am I annoyed at? What's the vexation? What's the point? What am I angry about? You'll find what's making you annoyed. Sometimes not just maybe Eunice said something to me and I'm angry. No, it's not, it may not even be what she said. It may be that what she said connected with something else that somebody said before, or something that I failed to deal with, so I'm angry. So you need to understand why am I feeling what I'm feeling? And once you can identify it, then you can do something about the root cause. But you will not let yourself stop and say, now I feel vulnerable, I can't go forward because I feel that somebody will not like what I'm saying or like what I'm doing, or I said, Chinyere, come on, what could go wrong? The sky isn't going to fall. Okay, so I tend to talk to myself as I go along my day and use my emotion to analyze what else is going on that's I'm responding to. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you. Well answered. Thank you. Maybe I'll ask another question, and feel free to raise your hand and ask any question. When people believe in you, this is on the first point, believing in yourself and believe big. There's a lot of times that people believe in you and you don't believe in yourself. Mm. How do you get yourself to bring those two together? There's a lot of belief from other people, but yourself, you're feeling, I'm still not ready for that role. How do you get yourself to that level?
Well, one is to have a conversation. So if somebody says, oh, I think Chinyere is very good at this thing, and I'm not feeling it at all. I'm feeling like it's certainly not me. You could have a conversation with that person. Why do you think I can do this? And the person will give you reasons. Okay, so let me give myself as an example. When years ago, I never thought I could write. In fact, maybe I should change that. When I was a teenager, I tried writing, and somebody laughed at, like, you can't even speak English, like, you can't write correct English. And since then, I said to myself, never write anything down. And it was, I turned 50 some years ago, and it was just a few years to my 50th birthday that I realized that, I could write. And that was because if people had heard me preach and counsel, and they said, you should put some of your thoughts in a book. So it's to have that conversation. Why do you think I can write? And they'll tell you, I think you have a unique way of interpreting things. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. They can say, I think you have a way of articulating concepts. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. And that builds your belief that you can actually do that thing. And it could be anything. Okay. So one is to have a conversation with those people, or anybody who thinks that you can do great things and you don't think so. Have a conversation. They'll tell you why, and then you can begin to explore it. The other thing is there's this concept I like, which is the Johari window, knowing yourself, Johari window. He said that sometimes there are things there's like 4 boxes. You can go and research it. So there are 4 boxes. There's the part where people know something about you that you don't know about yourself. Okay, so, and that is an opportunity for you to explore that area. So you go back and think, oh, they said this, that. In my performance appraisal, they said this, that. You go and explore it and say, oh, is that possible? Can I do it? What do I need to do? What do I need to shift in my life or in my mind to be able to believe that I can do this? All right, so it's really your responsibility, but everybody is a resource that you can use to get to believe big. If they believe big of you and you don't believe big of yourself.
Thank you. Another question from Catherine Nyaga. How do you make a change in an environment where you have controlling interests who are so influential in decisions made and you feel stuck?
Controlling influence, you say?
Yes, controlling interests.
Interest, oh, okay, all right, yes. Awesome. So that is, for me, stakeholder management 101. If people have controlling interests and you want to make a change, the question you need to ask yourself is, who will the change benefit? That's a key question. Who will this change that you're trying to make benefit? Hopefully it's not just yourself, okay? It's great for it to benefit you, but it must benefit somebody else. Or if they have controlling interest, that means that they also, anybody who has an interest in something has a stake and they want to have there's a benefit that they want to derive. So, like I talked about linking who you are with the goal. Link whatever change you want to make with what they want. What is in it for them? That's the only way to get buy-in on anything. When we talk about business case for corporate governance, what are we doing? We're saying, how would corporate governance benefit the person who wants to adopt it? So these people with interest, controlling interest in whatever, and they have set up a culture that you want to change. So they say, excuse me, how will this change influence or make them get better outcome or have a better impact with their interests? You must connect it with something that somebody wants for the person to be able to listen to you. And then you start from there, like start from the known to the unknown. So start from the little to the big. Don't go and make a big change when you haven't made little changes. Start from little changes that will not threaten anybody. If an interest holder is resisting your change, that means that change feels threatening to the person. So the person is resisting because the person is not sure how that will play out. So you need to explain better. You need to be able to explain in a very gracious and nice way how wonderful this change that you want to implement will be to the person at the end of the day. You need to explain it in terms of timeline. If we do this tiny thing, in 1 month time, we'll achieve this, or this will happen, or things will look differently here. But you have to be able to connect with something that interests somebody else. I think that's a way to change culture or change an environment where you find yourself to be a change maker. Always think, how will it benefit others and get them? And I gave the example of turning your adversaries to your advocate. You begin to change all those adversaries to your advocate because now you're engaging them one-on-one and say, this will benefit you in this way, that way, that way, that way, that way. And so they're willing to support you. That's what you want. And don't go and make change and want to engage everybody, 1,000 people at the same time. Start with 1 or 2 people. Once those 1 or 2 people understand what you want to do and they're now your advocates, they're on your side, they'll be talking about it. It's spreading like a ripple. That's how you make change. You start from the little to the big, but engage the stakeholders and find out what's in it for them. That's a way to connect with people.
Thank you. Then there's another question from Jean Jiru. Thinking of the theme of broadening mindset, please comment on pooling resources for projects that can make a change and create jobs.
Pulling together what?
Pooling, please comment on pooling resources for projects that can make change and create jobs.
Okay. Once you're in a particular place, let's say a community, you begin to explore what is needed. I think a few months ago, I spoke with the Rotary Club. I had a similar chat with the Rotary Club, and I was saying to them, if you're going to address people or engage with people at the bottom of the pyramid, you must understand what the need is. That's the first thing. So keep an open mind, understand what the need is, understand what resources are required to meet those needs. And I'll tell you a bit about that, what the need is. I gave an example of a community where they go to fetch water, a stream miles away in the stream. The women will go and fetch water and come back in the evening, go fetch water. And a big organization thought, oh, well, we can help this community. We can put boreholes close to the homes, and they don't have to walk all that way to get water, okay? So they put up all these little boreholes around the place. But over time, you know, they realized it took a while for the women to use the borehole. They kind of prefer to walk and come back. But then when they eventually started to use the borehole, over time, the community, the level of conflict began to rise. So what was going on? They later found out that this session of women going together with their daughters and with their sons to a mile to go fetch water was a time of bonding. Was a time of bonding within the community, bonding with the other women in the community, and giving space to the men who are at home. And so that there wasn't that close proximity where you're nagging, or, you know, so if you have a problem, rather than have a fight, you're going to fetch out with your friends and you're talking about it. So once you eliminated all that communal engagement, you are threatening the fabric of the community, which is why it's important to understand what the problem is that you're trying to deal with. That's so important. Once you understand what the problem is, then you can say, what do we need to do? And a bit of the previous remark I made about understanding what's the need for the person or the people you're trying to help. If you don't understand your reason for helping them, if you don't understand what your objectives are, they may think that, oh, she's just trying to, you know, blow her trumpet, or she's just trying to show that she has money. People come up with all manner of things. So you need to understand what is the need that you're trying to deal with, and what's the need for them. How do you engage them so they understand why this is important, so they understand the drive, so they understand the mindset. Okay, so in doing that, you're able to perhaps pull resources of others who may have the same values or the same objectives as you are, because in collaboration, we grow bigger. So you can be that change, but you need to reach out to others who may have similar projects so that we can pull our weight together and do bigger things. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is. We have another question from Pauline Wahinya. So thank you very much for the wonderful insights. No excuses as a leader. What has not worked in your leadership style, Dr. Chinyere? That's her question to you. Okay.
So I said to you that one of the ways I engage very actively is to relate with people. I'm very empathetic. I relate at levels beyond just work. So if I have people on my team, I probably know what their children's birthday will be. I probably know when they're going through stuff in their homes. I'm also, because of that style, people find it easy to talk to me. And so I'm able to engage at that level. Now, what hasn't worked, I would say, for me, it's really not like a negative, it's like a learning point so that you can find other ways to deal with it. What has been difficult, I would say, is sometimes people take you for granted. Okay, they take you for granted. They, because you are that type of person, they feel that you're not hard on results. So they come up with excuses on why they're not doing stuff, and they use all of these things that you have asked them about. Well, my child is this, my child is that. They kind of sometimes do take you for granted, and you sense that as you engage with them. But over the years, I have also communicated my preference for no excuses. So people have tried to adapt and adjust to my let's say, updated style of relationship with my staff and the people around me. So I'm still empathetic, but I put my foot down when I need results, and I explain why, and that happens.
Thank you. There's something important you said about believing in yourself, and you give an example of a clock. So a clock is always correct twice a day.
A broken clock is correct twice a day, correct?
Twice a day, a broken clock, sorry. And sometimes we feel broken as leaders or as women. And how do you find those two times that can pick you up and get you back on track as a leader? Because it happens to not just women, but as a leader, there's a point in your life you feel broken completely. Maybe it's because of what's happening in the company, or it's because of your direct boss, or something has just gone wrong. How do you find, give us ways we can find those two correct times to pick you back up? Because you can break and break completely and lose your confidentiality. You lose your confidence completely. How do you get yourself back on track? Have you ever been in such a situation? And how do you get back? How did you get back?
Okay, so at a broken clock is correct twice. It's a mindset that enables you to look for the joy in terrible situations. You're right that a lot of us sometimes find ourselves broken. Sometimes you're an emotional wreck. You're actually broken because of something not connected to work, but you have to carry yourself and all your emotions to work. Okay. What helps me is to first remember that the broken clock is correct twice a day, and then begin to look for those points of joy. What do I mean? You need to look for, first, within yourself, what makes you happy? What makes you smile? Regardless of how painful things are, you're crying and you're bitter and you're angry, think, what makes me smile? What makes me happy? And find those things. Intentionally find those things, because that will give you positive energy to pull yourself out of the brokenness. The other thing is, how can I help others find joy? Once you focus on others, research has shown that no matter how stressed and difficult things are for you, once you focus on helping others, you kind of, it's almost as if you carry your pain and your pain dissipates. It kind of wears away once you focus on others. So as bitter and as angry as you are, pause and think, how can I help the people around me, even if it's just one person? Okay. And perhaps, how can I make somebody smile? How can I add joy to one person? How can I please this person? So you're in work and you're frustrated and you're angry. I remember times when I have been passed up for promotion and I'm like bitter and angry and so, annoyed. And once I look outside of myself, so look outside of yourself and see, how can I help others? Perhaps people who have been passed up for promotion as well, like myself. How can I help them? That is a source of positive fuel. The third thing I like to do is to reframe. No matter how difficult the situation is, I often ask myself, what have you learned in this situation? What has it taught you? What are you able to do, or how can you help others? What are the nuggets that you're picking out from this situation? So I go with a lens to look for the gemstones in the difficulty, in the desert. Look for the precious stones. Look for those pebbles, those shiny pebbles that you can pick from the terrible situation that you're going through. That does help. So those three things. So one, look into yourself, what makes me smile, and anchor yourself to it for times, because that boosts your energy, your positive energy. Look for how you can help others. Perhaps they're in the same situation. How can you put a smile on somebody's face, even if it's one person? That helps you to dissipate the negative energy. And then three, reframe. What have you learned? How am I better because I'm going through this? How should I be thankful because I'm going through this? That helps.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Chinyere, for your insights and your wisdom. We always enjoy listening to you, and we welcome you back again to speak to us. And just to conclude to everyone, from what she has said, believe in yourself, and not just believe big, and that's a recipe for your success. I'll thank you so much, and I'll welcome Catherine to introduce the awards that are coming up, and the presentation will be done by Beatrice. So Catherine, please welcome and introduce this session for the awards. Then Beatrice will present the awards that will be coming up. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, my dear sister Chinyere. As you heard, she has a Kenyan name, so she indeed is a sister. She has family here in Kenya. Asante sana, that was awesome. Let's give her a clap, a virtual clap, please. Let's give her a virtual clap, everyone. Thank you, amazing, really, really amazing. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen who have joined us, first and foremost, allow me to very, very quickly invite the board members and committee members who are on the call to quickly introduce themselves. I saw Calvin. Calvin, please introduce yourself. Thank you. Calvin may have dropped off. Judy, I saw Judy as well. Okay.
Hello, Catherine, and hi, everyone.
Go on, Judy.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to our speaker this morning, Dr. Chinyere. Eunice, thank you for having guided us through this session. I was attentively listening. And thank you, Catherine. Just like to appreciate everybody who is in this call today. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Our committee members, of course, Eunice is our committee member, and she's been talking to you. So I will not harass her to introduce herself again. Beatrice is our committee member. Beatrice, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you this morning. I serve in the Policy and Advocacy Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. We have our board member, Faith, on the call. Faith, over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Catherine. Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad I joined this call. My life is totally changed. Thank you so much. And I am Faith. I sit on the board and also chair the Finance and Partnerships and Admin Committee. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know whether I have missed out any. Pauline Wahinya. Pauline is a committee member. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you very much, Dr. for a wonderful morning. You have given us a beautiful talk. I sit in the Committee of Advocacy and Policy. We are preparing for the award. And thank you for that. There are no excuses to make in this life. We will make it. Thank you very much. Asante.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pauline. I hope I have not left out any board or committee member. I will be introducing the secretariat towards the end so that those of you who are not members of Women on Boards can reach out to them and join Women on Boards Network. But today also allow me to introduce a very special young lady who has joined us at Women on Boards. Wanjiru, I'm coming to you. Wanjiru is doing some her internship with us at Women on Boards Network and will be supporting the committee that is running the Women on Boards Awards. So over to you, Wanjiru. I would like you to introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Wanjiru Wangondu, and I'm interning for the committee. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Yes, I've just seen another committee member, Irene. Sorry, Irene Mutiso, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Daktari, for the insightful morning. My name is Irene Mutiso. I serve in the Policy and Advocacy Committee, and really my life is equally changed. Asante sana. It was worth waking up and listening up, tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, before I talk about the awards, allow me to say that Dr. Chinyere is an awesome author. Please look out for those books of hers. The only one that I have not read is the one that she's releasing today, which is I Have a Father. I have read all the previous ones and they are awesome, simply written, full of wisdom, delivered in such an awesome manner. So please grab yourself a copy and I'm sure your life is going to be changed. As Women on Boards Network, we have been talking about having an award for a very, very long time. We have finally come to that point in time where we think that award is ripe for a launch. And I want to hand over to Beatrice, who will tell us about the award and also tell us what are the next steps in terms of implementing it. Over to you, Beatrice.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I'm going to talk about the awards as we have said. Now, is everyone hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, Beatrice.
Okay, thank you. So we have believed big and we have done what? Broadened our mindset as women on boards. We've walked a journey since 2014. We are now 8 years old, and an 8-year-old is big out there walking. So we have come out of our cocoon and we believe that it is time to show course, to show what we are made of to the rest of the world. Actually, we even wanted to show to the rest of the world, but we are doing it in Kenya. So the Women on Boards Network is going to start an award scheme starting this year, and we are calling it Women on Boards Awards 2021. This is our inaugural award. It is intended to be held in November during a gala dinner that will be held, to be specific, on 25th of November. I'm saying this so that we can be praying about that date. And the proposed name of the award is Women on Boards Network Awards. That's simple. This award is for now going to be annual, starting this year, but it will be decided later whether we want to broaden ourselves again further. Yes. So the proposed award, we will have different categories. And I must say that the categories of awards will be chosen from the winners of the awards will go through a rigorous selection criteria, which will be transparent and fair. to everyone. These are the categories that we have proposed. So as Kenyans, we say this is where we will get our mwanamke bomba or mwanaume bomba or a board, I don't know, shirika bomba, whatever is there. But these are the categories. We have the woman board director of the year, woman chairperson of the year, the boards, a board that is empowering women and youth will be our target. Then for men, we have a male agent of change. And then we have the organization of the year and a rising star or inspiring young woman or a rising star. That is another category. An influential rural woman of the year. Okay, those are the main categories where we will award a winner, a first runners-up, and a second runners-up after going through the criteria. Apart from that, we have these two categories: outstanding women on board network member and outstanding women on board's network junior member. So this, again, we want to recognize them. They will be awarded with certificates, but this is also a very significant category. So to walk our journey, we will need sponsorship. We'll need sponsorship, we'll need someone to partner with, we'll need someone to hold our hand, to walk with us, not to fall with us. Of course, there's no room for failing. We'll need categories, sponsorships, and different categories for us to have a credible award. I'm going to spend a bit more time on this because we are making a passionate appeal for you, for the women and men here, to start right away to walk with us this journey by sponsoring or coming up to offer sponsorship in the award. And when you come up for sponsorship, those categories that we have shown, platinum, gold, and silver, you will have different goodies in your bag at every stage. And apart from those four, we will also ask people who can come up and offer assistance in kind. For example, media and other things you can think of, how you can help offer sponsorship in kind. So for the platinum category, whom we shall be expecting to give us at least 1 million shillings. You have a lot of goodies in your bag. A dinner, complimentary dinner for 10 persons, 10 minutes opportunity to pitch at the event, sponsorship publicity in our posters, in our programs and other media platforms, co-brand, you'll co-brand the venue and the stage. There will be a PR photo opportunity. There will be an appreciation certificate, branding at prime spots. Your company name will be included in all the materials, and you'll have an opportunity to showcase your products to the wide audience. And then at the dinner event, which we pray will be a physical meeting, you will have an opportunity for 2 complimentary dinners. This will be done during the annual conference. So you will have 2 complimentary slots during the conference. Look at what we have for the platinum. So I hope people will be rushing to come and be part of this great event. And then we will have the next category, which is the gold category of sponsorship. And at this, we are looking at or expecting 500,000 shillings from the sponsor, with a bag of goodies again, complimentary dinner, display of banners, a 5-minute pitch during the events, company name in all the marketing materials, and an opportunity to show course again, your products to a wide range of audience, and then one complimentary slot at the conference, which will last around 3 days. The next category is silver. And for silver, we expect 250,000 shillings. Goodies in your bag, you'll display your banners, 5 minutes speech during the event, dinner, complimentary for 5 persons, and your company name included in the program. Finally, in the sponsorship category, we have bronze, expecting 100,000 shillings. And you will display your banners. You will be mentioned during the events. Your company name will be included in the program, and you will have complimentary dinner for 2 people. All those goodies, we appeal to you not to forfeit them. Please come and walk with us in this journey. Other than that, and what we have said that you can sponsor in kind, we will also have corporate tables for 8 people, observing the COVID protocols, of course. You will have expo tables, and you will have an opportunity again to showcase your products at that event, and then we expect to get money from that. Quickly to the program. This is our roadmap. This is the roadmap we have decided to walk. We began in March or February, and we hope to, this will culminate into the award ceremony, which, as we have said, will be on 25th November. We have several stages, as you will see on my left: the governance, the nominations, the sponsorships. The sponsorships and the communication bit have long started. Signing off the budget and other things have long started. The other issues that will start from today after this launch will be the social media and the marketing campaigns, which will be followed by the judging phase, where evidence and visits will be called for the women or men who will have been nominated, or corporates who will have been nominated to do the catwalk. An award is a catwalk. You come, you present yourself, and people look at you and judge you, and you get the result. So that is our roadmap. Having presented the roadmap, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to declare this award launched. Thank you.
Well done, Beatrice. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, please spread the word. It's important that we recognize those members of society that have put in time, that have put in effort to ensure that diversity on our boards is actually realized. We look forward to working with each one of you to making the award a success. Please spread the word. Please bring us sponsors, because running an award scheme is very, very expensive, but we are believing big and we know that we shall make it. Next year, we will open up to the whole of Africa for entries. So we are really thinking big, and we are thinking big because we know you are supporting us. So spread the word. Within a short while, you will be seeing communication about how you can nominate yourself or how you can nominate somebody else or an institution. So please be there, nominate people. Let's recognize those people who have done very well in this regard. Thank you so much, and I wish you God's blessings as I hand back to Eunice for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine and Beatrice, for taking us through that session. I will now welcome Judith Sidi to take us through vote of thanks and update on the events, and ask the Secretariat to post Women on Boards website for non-members and welcome them to join Women on Boards. Welcome, Judith.
Thank you, Eunice. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you for that launch of the awards. Yes, it's a good thing, and I think already I can see it will be a success. So ladies, let's support it so that we can see the success of it. So my name is Judith Sidi Odhiambo, and I sit in the board, but I also chair the membership committee. And so we do have some updates from our desk. So this morning, I'd just like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Chinyere Almona for sharing with us your nuggets of wisdom, and also for giving us your experiences in the leadership space, which has been very useful. Personally, I've also benefited from that, and there are a number of things I've picked out, which I'll be able to work with even as I look in the next 6 months, because we've done up to June, so we have another 6 months ahead of us. Also to thank everybody who has logged in today, and also to thank all those who have made this event a success, both from the Secretariat and also the leaders. So an update on our training events. So we have board profiling and personal positioning workshop, which is coming up on 5th to 8th July. So that will be the month of July. So kindly, if you're interested, please send in your details. Then we have board talk session again on 12th of August, a similar one like what we've had today on 12th of August. So look forward to it. And also if you have topics that you feel we need to discuss, give also your feedback, even on our WhatsApp platform, and you can be able to pick it up and be able to run with some of the topics which you feel maybe this is due and we need to do it. And of course, we also have the group board mentorship program, again, which is scheduled for this month, 23rd June up to 17th November, 6 months. So those who are interested also kindly, let's make sure that we give in our names to the Secretariat so that then you can be able to be slotted in for these programs. So let's take advantage of these programs that are available for us because they are there to enrich what we already have, to give us scope, to enable us network, to also see what others are doing, have peer-to-peer learning. All these are important in terms of our growth, especially in our careers, but also in our personal life, and also even for our businesses. So let's take advantage of the platform that has been provided for us so that we can plug in and see how we can also be able to grow, because changing of mindset is not something you can do overnight. So as you interact with the different training courses that are available, then it also expands your horizon to see what is possible for you, the possibilities that are ahead of you, and of course, take advantage of that. So thank you all, and I'll hand over back to Eunice. Thanks.
Thank you, Judith, for that. For me, it's just to wish you a blessed weekend. Thank you for joining us today. Please look out for the next breakfast and round table, which we should be sending through when it comes up. And thank you for the speaker today, and Catherine and the team that has made this possible. Thank you so much, and have a blessed weekend. Goodbye.
Eunice, before we leave, just once more to congratulate Judith for being among the top 10 women shaping the financial services sector. So Judith, well done, congratulations. We are so proud of you. We had our members winning that award. We have our mentors winning that award. So we are really, really proud of our members. Please sign up for mentorship. We said that this year we are going to do a lot of mentorship, and we have a number of mentorship programs. Please reach out to Hannah. Make sure that you're signing up for at least one of them so that you're mentored into greatness. Do remember to also join your coteries. If you're not in a coterie, which is peer-to-peer learning, holding each other accountable, please reach out to Mrs. Wanga and she will remind you which group you have been placed in, so that you are held accountable to any goals that you will have set for ourselves. Once more, I want to congratulate our 4 members who were shortlisted for the IEBC positions this morning: Harriet Chigai, Caroline Nganga, Zippy Musimi, and Ann Kiusia. Congratulations, and we will definitely look forward to supporting you as you prepare for the interviews that will be coming up. We want our members to be in that electoral commission, so we will look to support you. Thank you, everybody. God bless you greatly. Have a great, great weekend and look forward to seeing you soon. My sister Chinyere, asante sana, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.